Hello, my name is David Daniel Ball, and these are the headlines for Tuesday, the 3rd of March, 2009. Bloodbath, global markets slump on fresh bank woes. Teens to face court over machete attack. A girl, 12 years old, fights off attacker in school toilet. Nathan Rees gets bump in the polls, still projected to lose by landslide. IVF mums free to choose father for birth certificates. Blood allegedly found in Chris Brown's car. Arsonist strike as Victoria braces for firestorm. Man rapes 4-year-old and then walks free. There is nothing here to explain the sentence except the guilty plea. I have no confidence in there existing a reason, but I would like to know what it was. GPS gadgets a safety risk for male drivers. ATMs to charge disloyalty fees from today. Pauline's meltdown, Hansen lashes out in TV interview. Joyce wants probe of Chinalco deal. 5,000 left without cancer treatment. Guinea-Bissau president murdered while trying to flee. And in comments, Muslims must face their own monsters from Piers Akerman. Hope springs eternal, and Dan Gillerman, former Israeli ambassador to the UN, is an optimist. He must be. He believes there is hope of some sort of settlement to the Palestinian problem in the aftermath of Operation Cast Lead, Israel's retaliatory strike against Hamas terrorists in Gaza, who ordered the 8-year rocket bombardment against Israel. I don't see Gillerman as being an optimist. I think he is right in the sense that he is correct in his assessment. It will always be the case that moderates will win. What will be disappointing is the lag time before success. I believe that peace was possible even as Hamas won those elections because Fatah was not the side of peace, there being no moderates in the ballot. Moderates have been eliminated within Palestine by Palestinians, but more will be born and raised. There is a terrible price to pay for allowing anarchy, as the left-dominated UN has done. But while anarchy has been fed by strong neighbors such as Iran and Syria and Egypt and Libya and any of many other nations, there will come a time when moderates will succeed. Israel has been a good neighbor, behaving responsibly, and the reward for that is the growth of moderates. Maybe from within Israel, or maybe as a result of witnesses of the horrible excesses of 60 years of Palestinian anarchy. Coldest, warmest protest, everyone turning up in D.C. for the massive anti-warming demonstration starring crypt dweller James Hansen, and of course, a potent March snowstorm blanketed much of the southeast with snow Sunday before barreling down towards northeast where officials prepared snow plows and road salt for a wintry assault. Faster by sea, the San Francisco Chronicle's Joe Garofoli, Limbo, I Hope Obama Fails, and the Sydney Morning Herald's U.S. correspondent Ann Davies. The radio talkback host Rush Limbaugh, America's answer to Alan Jones, has said he wants to see President Barack Obama fail. That's a 44-day wait to see Davies fail. She's usually much quicker. Keep it below 800 words, people. Science writer Gary Robbins asks, why do people hate Al Gore? Solution, take away their oil. We used to be told that poverty caused terrorism. Now it turns out that wealth causes sexism, at least according to MSNBC's Nara O'Donnell. Oil wealth must also explain the rampant sexism in Norway and Canada. Dogs of law, dreadful insensitivity at a court hearing for accused wife beheader Muzammil Hassan. In the courtroom, security was beefed up, a canine unit was even brought in. Journalism in the age of crikey, fraud is alleged, the accused isn't contacted, lies are published, adults become involved, the story is removed, an apology is offered. You've got to follow the links that I load. Follow the links that I load? Follow the links that I load. CFMEU to get other 7,000 sacked too. How thick are the guys, this is from Andrew Bolt, how thick are the guys that run the CFMEU? To protest against the sacking of 1,850 workers at struggling Pacific brands, they plan a boycott that threatens the jobs of the remaining 7,000 workers there as well. How did he get off? I've tried but failed to imagine the circumstance in which a man who breaks into a house and rapes a 4-year-old could escape jail. The opposition has demanded that the Director of Public Prosecutions urgently appeal against the sentence of a 24-year-old man who escaped jail despite pleading guilty to raping a 4-year-old girl as she slept at her grandmother's house. The man, who cannot be named, was given a 2-year suspended jail term in the District Court in Sydney on February the 5th after he pleaded guilty to breaking into the house at Gulmarad near Yamba in November 2007 and sexually assaulting the girl. The judgment had better be convincing. And an update, this decision by Justice Felicity Hample strikes me as just extraordinary. Convicted pedophile Jamie Armstrong, who pled guilty to 33 charges of sexual assault on children as young as 2, could be back on Geelong streets by October. Armstrong, 28 of Boundary Road, Mount Dunedin, pled guilty in Geelong County Court earlier this month to 30 counts of sexually assaulting 7 children at under 16 and 2 counts of assault with intent to rape. The court heard the offending occurred over a period of about 12 years and involved both sexes, with the youngest victim aged 2 and the oldest 11. Yesterday, Armstrong was sentenced to 4 years jail with a non-parole period of 18 months. Earlier, the court heard how Armstrong told police he still fantasized about children and was always in danger of reoffending. Armstrong admitted in prior court appearance to indecently assaulting a girl at a swimming pool in 1999, an offense for which he was placed on a community-based order and completed the sex offenders program. Rising jobless, not temperatures, is the real story, considered a sign that Kevin Rudds lost the support of the very people he needs to push his insane plan to tax our gases from next year. Owing the taxes they impose, it seems Barack Obama's Democrats like taxes more in theory. Ron Kirk, nominated as U.S. Trade Representative in the Obama administration, owes an estimated $10,000 in back taxes from earlier in the decade and has agreed to make his payments, the Senate Finance Committee said Monday. Frosty to the truth on Nixon. Jared Henderson says yet another film rewrites history and again to suit the agenda of the left. Ron Howard's film, Frost Nixon, mixes fact with fiction to the detriment of President Richard Nixon and to the benefit of the interviewer David Frost and the leftist academic James Reston. Yet the play and the film are presented as an account of what took place when, in 1977, Frost interviewed Nixon about his forced resignation from the presidency 3 years previously. Writing in the Huffington Post last December, Elizabeth Drew, who's no fan of the late Republican president, said that the plot of the film Nixon is a contrivance. Its telling is so riddled with departures from what actually happened as to be fundamentally dishonest, and the climactic moment is purely and simply a lie. For example, contrary to the message of the film, Nixon never folded before Frost by admitting that he had participated in an illegal attempt to cover up the break-in at the Watergate building in Washington. And there never was a late-night phone call initiated by Nixon when he downloaded on Frost. The scene is particularly damaging to the reputation of late Nixon. He is presented as a binge drinker who consumed so much liquor during an evening that he had memory lapses about phone conversations the following day. If the facts don't count, why claim your film is true? Putting the dark in dark green. Yes, the Greens do indeed oppose moves to make your power cheap and reliable. The Lord Mayor of Sydney, Clover Moore, has criticised the electricity industry's federal watchdog, accusing it of giving the go-ahead to a $1 billion plan that will boost investment in polluting coal-fired powered stations, increasing electricity bills for residents and seriously undermining a green vision for the city unveiled last year. If our coal-fired plants are indeed to become financially unviable under Kevin Rudd's plans, be very afraid. They provide 95% of New South Wales electricity alone. Unwanted and unmovable. Still 2 years to go, though. Labor remains in dire straits in New South Wales, but has made up ground on the coalition by reversing a series of unpopular decisions. Despite Labor's comeback, the coalition would win easily if an election were held today, retaining an 8-point lead to the two-party preferred measure of 56% to 44%. Labor's made-up ground could soon be lost again. The Premier has been accused by some of his MPs of failing to refer the Fair Trading Minister, Virginia Judge, to the Independent Commission Against Corruption because his mother, Fran, works for Ms. Judge.